what the Falcon Winter Soldier rumor reveals about Captain America's fate. Considering there is half a year until Avengers 4 hits the big screen, it's ironic that we have way more information about Spider-Man Far From Home and Guardians of the Galaxy 3 than we do about the Marvel Cinematic Universe's next big team-up flick. Add to that fact that both Loki and Scarlet Witch will be receiving their own individual series on Disney's upcoming streaming service. We are now getting word from Variety that Falcon and Bucky Barnes are teaming up for a mini-series on the service as well. While details are few and far between, let's break down what we know.
I hate you.
The untitled show will be written by Empire writer Malcolm Spellman. Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan will presumably be returning as Falcon and Bucky respectively, and each of the 3 series will be around 6 to 8 episodes each. Much like the Scarlet Witch and Loki miniseries, the Bucky and Falcon series will be produced by Kevin Feige's Marvel Studios, unlike the Marvel Netflix shows, which are produced by Marvel Television. Also, these shows aren't going to be low budget. According to Variety, we can expect them to have budgets similar to MCU films, which cost several hundreds of millions of dollars each to make. As for the story, since this is a team-up between 2 of Captain America's besties, it's safe to assume this limited series takes place after Avengers 4. Now, this is just based on the timeline of the MCU. While they both first met in the Winter Soldier, they didn't really interact with each other until Civil War, and that film ended with Bucky going into cryo-freeze. Now, while it is possible they found some time to hang out during Avengers Infinity War, Occam's razor tells us that the simplest explanation is that this will just take place after Avengers 4. But wait, you say, didn't Sam and Bucky fall victim to the worst case of allergies of all time? Achoo. Sure, but it's safe to assume that at some point in Avengers 4, the 2 will return to a non-dusty living status. Yet another way that the Infinity War deaths are proving not to be permanent after all. So how does any of this reveal Captain America's fate? Well, the only real connective tissue between these 2 guys is that they're both BFFs with Steve Rogers, which is probably why they're being paired together in this limited series. A series that will air after Avengers 4, the last supposed film in Chris Evans' contract as Cap. Now, with Chris Evans making a point to give a very public farewell to the character on social media after finishing filming his scenes in Avengers 4, we think it's safe to assume that Cap will either die, retire, go missing in the time stream, or just walk off into the sunset in Avengers 4, never to be seen again, or at least not for another 5 to 10 years when they have reason to bring the character back out of retirement. So if Rogers is done after the events in Avengers 4, it leaves the mantle of Captain America wide open. And if we turn to the comics, who else has carried the shield in place of Rogers? Why, none other than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. While both of the characters had earned the right to carry the metaphorical weight of the shield in the books, their movie versions still have a little ways to go before they have earned the right to wield it. And that is where we think the miniseries could be headed. Whether it's finding the shield or searching for Captain America, we could see them on a hero's journey and on the way earning the right to don the mantle of Captain America. That, or this is one of the best backdoor pilots for a rom-com that we have ever seen.
No.
But what do you folks think? Are you excited that Bucky and Sam will rise from the ashes? Do you think Steve Rogers will really be gone from the MCU? And would you rather see Bucky and Sam in a rom-com or a buddy cop series? Or both? Let's discuss. Be sure to like, subscribe, and mash that little bell to get notified every time we drop a video or go live with a show, like today's new episode of The Dan Cave. Dan Casey is breaking down 5 terrifying true stories behind your favorite horror movies: Nightmare on Elm Street, The Exorcist, Scream, and more. Check it out right now. Also, have a safe and wonderful Halloween, everybody. Bye!